Like there were three kids sitting around talking about. I'm like, I don't know one single. I don't know maybe one socialist philosopher, like Karl Marx and like Engels. I can't name any others.
Hello, and welcome back to the Voice for You podcast, where we empower the leaders of today and tomorrow. I'm your host, Jayachanran. Today, I'm joined by a young leader in our community. He is the definition of business-minded, serving as the CEO of NextGen Education and Orostone, each different in what they achieve, but both immensely successful, reaching over 130,000 students, which is 6 digits, by the way. He has also placed nationally for clubs such as BPA, showing his knowledge for business. His work has definitely not gone unnoticed, being awarded the Coca-Cola Scholarship and being named a Coolidge Senator. Serving the community through business, he is Mr. Prabanjan Jayachanran. How are you doing today, Prab?
Good, Jeshwan. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, you have a nickname too. You go by Prab. I just go by Jesh, you know.
Jesh, got you.
Yeah. So, you know, it's summertime. It's sunny. You know, I think the sun's out today. Yesterday it was like cloudy and like raining. So
It was nice out today. Yeah.
yeah, it's nice. The weather, especially when it's like cloudy and stuff, the weather does feel really nice afterwards.
Yeah. Because like, dude, it's like sometimes it's so humid, and then after it's like it's more chill. Like you actually play outside.
Yeah. Well, it's low-key like kind of humid as well, but you know, it's not like pouring rain, and it's like the right amount of humid to the point where it's not like, you know, that
Like unplayable, which like sucks too.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You can still go outside and chill and stuff. So before we get into the interview, tell me a little bit about yourself, your hobbies, your passions, and who you are as a person.
Yeah. So my passions, I'd say, in terms of work, career, that stuff, is pretty much all based around entrepreneurship. I think, you know, at heart, I've always liked building things and getting stuff out to people. And I like the process of entrepreneurship because it's not one dimensional. It's probably the most multidimensional thing out there. You're not just doing coding, you're not just doing business, you're not just, you know, reaching out marketing, you're doing everything. And so because of that, I find it very engaging, very fulfilling. And being able to be the one bringing your product out and helping people's lives, I think that's the best part. And being able to do so many different things while doing it it's really impactful. I think it's really entertaining too. I think it's fun to do all these different things. So career-wise, I'd say it's my passion. In terms of hobbies, I love watching movies. I watch a lot of Indian movies a lot, and I love playing pickleball. So, are you watching any movies too?
I am a massive Indian movie guy.
Yes, sir. Well, I like to hear that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Obviously, I'm assuming you speak. What language do you speak?
I'm Tamil.
Tamil. Do you have a favorite Tamil hero?
Danush. It's Danush.
That's fair. That's very valid.
Sir.
I'm Telugu, and if
Telugu,
you ask anybody, any of my friends, I am the biggest Nani Glazer there is. Like,
Actually,
I'm very, I'm a very big Nani fan.
yes, sir. What was his last movie? Was it Sariputta Sanivaram?
Nah, Hit 3 dropped like a month ago. So
Yeah, Hit 3, yeah.
I watched that first. Yeah, I watched it first day, first show. My girlfriend says I'm biased, but it was really, really good. They said it was like gory, but to be honest, it was not gory at all.
Okay.
Like low key,
I heard it was. Yeah, I heard it was like really violent. Yeah.
The thing is, like, the gore was like low key justified because obviously I can't get into like spoilers and stuff, which I would
It's
definitely.
about like a psycho killer, right? Like on a killing spree or something like that.
Yeah, so I would say something on the lines of that. Yeah.
Okay.
They paint the hero as like a villain, but you know, without getting into spoilers, you know, it's just like about what his motive is and all that too. Because if you've seen like Hit 1, Hit 2, like at the end of Hit 2, they like paint him as a psychopathic cop, which
Yeah.
I mean, I begged my parents to go watch Sariputta Sanivaram, like, and they let me after like a couple of weeks. I'm just saying all of his movies are amazing.
I do the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
If movies are like ranked super high or rated super high, I feel like I do hella convincing.
Exactly. I've obviously started getting into like Tamil cinema too. Pradeep Ranganathan, I'm a big fan of his movies.
Yo, I've watched Dragon.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yo. I watched it in the theater
good.
too. That's tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I wish I saw that in theaters. Low key, that would have been such a vibe. But I watched that at home. It was so good. He has like 2 other movies lined up this year, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, you are Tomo, so if you do watch Hit 3, the ending of Hit 3, they introduced the next hero for Hit 4.
Is it Tamil hero?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Don't spoil it.
It's
Don't
gonna.
spoil it. All right, I'll check it
Yeah,
out.
I got you. I won't. I won't. Yeah, but definitely do watch that because I know I was just scrolling on Instagram today. They've already spoiled who the next cop is on Instagram, so just be
Actually,
wary of that too. Yeah,
okay.
but
Bro, dude,
especially
Instagram's listening, bro. It's gonna hear us talking. It's gonna like suggest it the second I go on. Like, it's already over, bro. It's just
where Loki gotta like cover the mic on it or something.
on God, bro.
Yeah. But obviously you are very successful. But before we get into my interviews, I like asking like a simple question. So, if you could be any ice cream flavor to describe you, what would it be and why?
I would say I'm trying to give you a good answer that isn't like Rocky Road, like mint chocolate chip.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the thought-provoking one. Definitely.
Maybe like flavor with like heavy fudge, because I feel like the fudge is kind of like the solid stuff, like very
Yeah.
concrete, locking in, working hard, that kind of thing, and like trying to make it big.
Yeah.
But it's also like filled with ice cream is caramel, which is like more light, more fluffy,
Yeah.
more like relaxed vibes a lot of the time. So it's either like go or like just like chill. I feel like the in the middle part is where like a lot of not that important stuff comes out. So yeah.
Definitely. What's your go-to ice cream flavor?
I go to ice cream flavor. I actually don't have one. It's just like whatever they have there that I think is good.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like I go to this one ice cream shop a lot in my hometown, and there was
Yeah.
a flavor called Pictured Rocks, and it's like chocolate with fudge and with caramel, like nuts, just like a lot of stuff. So.
Where are you from, by the way? I mean, I know, but
I'm from Zionsville, but like I consider my hometown to be in Michigan. I'm from Indiana, like a suburb near Indiana.
Yeah.
Near Indianapolis, but I grew up in Midland, Michigan.
Like near Detroit, or
It's like this is Michigan. I grew up like here, like right here.
okay, yeah. Oh, what was I gonna say? Yeah, my go-to flavor is it's basic, but it's vanilla with caramel and then sprinkles. That's always my
Okay.
go-to. There's just one flavor. I forgot what it's called, but it's like basically vanilla with like caramel and then like nuts in it, bro. It's
Okay,
so
okay.
hard. It's at Baskin. I forgot what it's called. That's usually what I get, and then put sprinkles on top. So you like save, because then if you just like get vanilla, right? You don't have to pay extra for the caramel and then the sprinkles. You just get the caramel with the ice cream and then just put.
Okay, yeah. I get that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we don't have a Baskin Robbins near here. It's like I haven't seen one in
Really?
Indianapolis actually. Yeah, no.
Really? That's
I
crazy.
don't know. I feel like maybe like Indianapolis, but it's like a suburb near Indy. So I
Yeah.
haven't seen one in a minute.
Dang. I thought. I guess it's because it is a suburb. So, but even like
When I live in different cities, I do have Baskin. Like when we're like different, like yeah.
Yeah. Like I mean, I live in a suburb too. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. So I live
Yeah.
I live like on the outsides, like in the suburbs of Memphis.
Mhm.
But
Okay,
we
okay.
still got like a decent amount of stuff here. Like we got like the normal stops. We have the problem with my town is that like say like as high schoolers we like to go out afterwards and like just chill and eat food.
Yeah.
Like just chill out. The only thing we have here is restaurants. It's only
Mhm.
restaurants, which is like gets annoying at times. Cause like most kids like they can go to like the arcade or something. It's either a park or a restaurant. That's literally all we have here. Or the
Yeah.
library.
Okay. Shit. You guys have like Top Golf?
Our Top Golf is like 15 to 30 minutes out in like Memphis.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's like it's in like one of the other smaller suburbs. But me and my friends have been planning to go to Top Golf, especially because it's summertime and it gets cheaper. I know. My friend said Sunday and Tuesdays, I believe.
Yeah, it was Tuesday. Yeah, me and my friends are planning on Tuesday because it's like half off. We're going Wednesday now.
Yeah, it's like half
Tuesday's a
off.
good day to
Yeah.
go. Yeah.
I remember I went once because it was like half off. One of my friends, he just invited me like, randomly. But
Yeah.
my friend, one of my closest friends, he's like, it's his senior year too, so he's gonna be leaving for college. He was like, yo, let's hang out, like all of us, because we have a little like
Yeah.
friend group, like 4 of us, and then invite some more people on top. And he was like, let's go to Top Golf. Because it's like kind of far, and then we have to figure out the days and like when everyone's available and stuff too.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie, like
So-
having senior friends as like a junior is like cooked because senior friends always do want to like whatever whenever they want. I'm like, bro, like I cannot
Yeah.
come. Like they'll be
Yeah.
like last year I remember my friends were like, yo, let's skip school and go out to Dune 2. I'm like, my guy, I cannot skip school and watch Dune 2.
Yeah,
bro.
you
I have
can,
finals."
dude. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. thing is, we don't have like finals like that. For us, like exams, what happens is if you have if you have all A's, and then you have 3 or less absences, then you don't have to take a final.
Dude,
Yeah.
we have that too, but it's only for second semester seniors. So you're like hella
Yeah.
lucky, bro. Yeah, that's
Oh
good.
yeah, we just have that for like everybody, and then the
Mm,
only exceptions to that would be like AP classes and then EOCs, because you're obviously taking those like the end of course, like Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and stuff.
okay.
And
Yeah.
my semester this past, like, because what my school does is like 4 classes one semester, and then 4 totally different classes another semester.
Okay.
So
Huh. Shit.
it's like
That's
kind of,
odd.
yeah, it is odd, but my 4 classes this semester were all AP exams.
Okay.
Probably some of the worst AP exams you could have as a 4 combo. So yeah.
Which ones? Just curious.
I had Lang, Chem, Calc BC, and
Mhm.
then Physics 1.
Okay, dude. Physics 1 is like that exam is bad, bro.
That, to be honest,
The
it
curve is
wasn't.
brutal.
Yeah, this year I didn't think it was actually that bad. I thought I think I can do decent, especially because yeah, everything's online. So, they're gonna make it easier.
I think the exam like itself isn't like bad, but like the curve is I think one of the worst in any AP exam.
Yeah.
A couple
No
years ago,
one-
like
no one-
7-8% get a 5. It's like it was low. Bro.
Yeah. I think that's the same for like Lang is like 9% get a 5.
Yeah. Like Lang and Lay are.
It's brutal. I tell people my schedule, and it's like these kids are like kids that go to like Ivy League schools and all that, and like they're like, why are you taking all these crazy classes? I'm
Yeah.
like, to be honest, I didn't think it was like that. Like it was bad, but it wasn't like brutal. Like last year,
Okay.
I took like this like around the same amount of classes. I found last year 10 times more brutal than this year, and I had like apes and psych to go with last year's classes.
Huh.
So
So like get better studying this year, like get smarter. Or
I
what?
think it's just because like I had art history last year.
Okay.
That was the most brutal. That's the only 5 I've ever gotten, but it was the most brutal class I've ever taken in my life.
Yeah. Okay.
It was stressful because you have to memorize like 250 art pieces, and then know them like very very well. God, that was so
Yeah.
bad. But speaking of
I'm glad
APs
I didn't
and
have to go through that. It's bad, bro.
oh yeah, no, it's definitely. I would not recommend that class on anybody at all. But speaking of APs and college and stuff, obviously you are a senior now. You now have the time to go watch Doom 2. It's obviously not in theaters anymore, but you can go watch another movie. I know Sinners. Me and my friend are supposed to be going to watch Mission Impossible 8 today. So there's definitely this weekend. Yeah, this weekend is definitely tough for movies. But as a senior that has graduated, what school have you committed to, and what about that college attracted you? Obviously, I know the college you went committed to, and I obviously just knowing about the college is a very big reason why you committed. But for the viewers, what college and why?
Yeah, I committed to the University of Pennsylvania, and I think it's decently obvious why. Like talk about business, entrepreneurship, and I was admitted to the Wharton School, so one of the best in the world for what it's good at. So yeah, I mean it was a no-brainer, to be honest. It was in my top 3 choices, and when I got in on Ivy Day, it was immediately okay. Like I'm going there. So yeah, I fairly like the culture. I think it's people like overrate how bad it is and how like preppy and pre-professional it is. I think it stems more from like ambition and wanting to get good jobs after than it does from just being pre-professional. People use it in negative light, and always wanting to like snake out someone else. I think just like wanting the best for yourself, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. And if you look at the placement of Penn grads afterwards and just their careers, the amount of success they experience in their career, it's way higher than like the majority of schools. So I like the culture. I think it's social. I think I'll have a good time as well as get the most opportunities out of it. So yeah, really no-brainer choice for me.
Definitely, especially because like it's an Ivy League, and on top of that, it's the best Ivy business school in arguably the best business school in the nation. It definitely is. So that sets you up for a crazy amount of success in the future, especially with what you want to do as someone that has multiple startups, and you've already had the feel for the business world, as you have successful. Like having a startup is one thing, having successful startups is another thing, especially
Thank you, man.
yeah, especially before graduating high school too is insane. This is insane, dude. Holy.
Thank you, man.
So
Appreciate that.
speaking, yeah. So speaking of these startups, obviously you serve as the co-CEO of NextGen Education LLC. With
Mhm.
you have a massive team of that you have. So could you go more into depth about NextGen Education and how you got the idea for it?
Yeah, yeah. So the idea was shared between me and this guy named Nishant Gadde. He's my co-CEO. He's from Texas, and me and him both had done a good amount of research in the past. Near the beginning of my freshman year, I thought I was going to be a doctor. I thought I was pre-med, so I did biology research. And Nishant he's CS, and he did a lot of EECS and CS research, places like Houston, UT Austin, whatnot. And I did IU, Purdue, and we realized how hard it was to get these positions, because without connections or without paying like tens of thousands for summer programs, it's incredibly hard. Because either you have to get into one of these free summer programs, which if it's a paid summer program, it's really not worth. So either you get into a free one, which is incredibly difficult, and like now they're 3, 4, 5% acceptance rates, right? And I think even, of course, the 3, 4% get in. Even like the next 40% after that, I think they're still talented and ambitious enough to do good research and contribute well. So there's a whole market of kids who are getting rejected from these programs who can't afford to pay $20,000 for a summer program that isn't even going to look good in their applications. So there's a lot of kids out there who want research but can't get it. So we thought, what if we could give these research opportunities at an inexpensive and really quick way? Because the other third way to get research is you email tens of thousands of professors. You email hundreds. I think like you probably have friends, or even you've gone through the process, right? It's strenuous and it's tedious. So to save kids that time and money and just stress, we created NextGen Research Institute. So it runs basically through our network that people we've met throughout. So these people I've emailed who've said yes to me, professors I've worked with, professors Nishant has worked with, and every co-founder we take on or every team member, even marketing people we take on, ask them like, what is your network? And who do you know that we can utilize and leverage to help kids get more research opportunities? Because that's a big part of what we value. It's not just that you're a special person and that you have special connections, but can you utilize these special connections to help someone else? So when we see that, that's who we try to take on our team, and that's what we want to build a company with.
So obviously both of y'all are from totally different areas. He's from Texas, you are from the Michigan, Indiana area. So how did y'all get in contact together?
Yeah, actually, it was through a mutual friend. So I had this one friend named Avnish, super smart, incredible guy. He's at Texas A&M now, and I met him. We were childhood friends in Midland, Michigan, a place like pointed right here. We met when we were like 6 or 7 years old, and since then he moved to Texas and I moved to Indiana. And Avnish played Avnish played tennis with Nishant, and Nishant actually offered strawberries to Avnish, and that kind of like built their friendship at the tennis match. And so what was it, my junior year? Like halfway through my junior year, Avnish introduced me to Nishant and said, okay, I know this guy, he has this cool idea, and maybe we can work with him and build something.
So obviously as co-CEOs, y'all, how did you get the rest of your team? Because I'm assuming the rest of your team is from different areas across the U.S. as well. So
Yeah.
how did you get those connections as well?
So a lot of the initial team was built by Nishant. I'd say at that time Nishant definitely had way better connections than I did, and so he had Amrit Vignesh, who's a guy from Princeton that I think Nishant had met through research. But yeah, a guy named Arun Patel, he's our CMO, amazing CMO. Like, this guy's so passionate, so incredible about it. That was also Nishant's connection, and I put on our CTO Tianla Liang. He's a junior. He's a junior right now in my school, Zionsville. And so, yeah, that's kind of how we built our team. We have co-CEOs, CMO, CTO. Amrit Vignesh he's also a co-founder, but it's more of an advisory role. He's also involved in a multitude of startups, as well as doing Orphe at Princeton, which is an incredibly hard degree. So yeah, just people we know that we think would be good at it. Our marketing team and interns are all through applications. So our co-founders are people we've known and we know can contribute well. But our marketing team, our coding intern team, we did through LinkedIn marketing. We sent our applications to people and they filled it out and we interviewed and we've accepted people.
How big are these marketing intern teams? Are they like massive numbers?
No, not at all. Our marketing intern team is 7 people right now, and coding is 3. Because there's not that much code that needs to be done. It's a relatively simple website. We're working on different extensions, connections, initial platform. We're building an AI model right now, an MLM that will expand our offerings. That'll come later, but we don't need that many people for that. Marketing is definitely where most of our pressure is on, because there's a lot of competition out there.
Definitely. Well,
college admissions field and research connection field. So being the first one to get the word out is so important.
definitely. If y'all, I'm gonna shoot my shot real quick. If y'all need any other extra marketing interns,
Mhm.
I have multiple different you know, uh, what's it called? ECs to go with marketing. So I'll definitely check it
Okay.
out. And yeah, yeah, definitely,
Yeah. I'll talk to Areen, our CMO, and we can work
yeah,
something out. But,
definitely,
sure.
definitely. So obviously, next gen education is very, very successful in its own right, securing, being estimated at a very, very high price. So how do you believe you were able to get it to that estimated value that is such a high price?
I'd say understanding our market better than other people. Because I think as a high schooler, working with a high school market is an incredible advantage. And it's not one that we fully anticipated early on, but a lot of people running the college research startups, and they're either in college or they're adults. And so their experience with high schoolers are their kids, or they'd been through the college application process. That was maybe 7, 8 years ago, which even then it was incredibly different than it is now. So I think understanding your market really well and making marketing material that can cater to them really helped. And we get a lot of LinkedIn DMs. Like my co-founders and I, we get tons and tons of people just reaching out, being really open, and just asking, how do I apply? How do this application part's kind of confusing. Can I get help with that? So I think really, like, even now, I encourage anyone who's applying to hit me up on LinkedIn or even just like DM me on Instagram and ask questions. So that's like the culture we have with all of us, me, Nishan, Irene, Tienla, like even all of our marketing people, Kelly, May. It's really open. So we encourage people to DM us, ask us questions, and we always respond. So I think having that culture where it's not like, it's some nebulous organization that you submit an application to, you don't know when it's going to be reviewed, you don't know when they're going to get to it, but you'll get a yes or no response and you just carry on. We like to be really open and involved with our customers, which I think really sets us apart. And it's in a genuine way. It's not like we sat down, we're like, okay, let's make some marketing advantage, or let's procure some advantage that'll put us on top of competition. It just happened to be that way because we feel like we were all that kind of people before we even started. Yeah.
No, the power of networking. It's definitely been I've been saying this every episode, but it is definitely been a common theme.
Mm.
Everyone that I've interviewed say they got this because of networking. They got this because of networking. So
Mm-hmm.
networking is definitely something, like you said, Rob is definitely very chill when it comes to Instagram. I just DM'd him like a day or two ago and we got this set up really quick. So once again, thank you for that. And DMs, Instagram, like people say it's like bad for you, but in reality, if you utilize it the right way, great, like good things can come out of it. Like definitely can. Definitely. So the company also, NextGen Education, has also had a large outreach with 100,000 plus students, and then 600 plus of these students doing research at T30 schools. So
Mm.
obviously what along with like the LinkedIn, emailing everybody, were there any other marketing strategies that went along with these like students? Because like you can obviously reach out to the the colleges and that works, but like how did you
Mm.
reach out to the students saying about this? Did you like post in your school, or like how did that work?
Yeah, it's mostly been Reels and TikTok. They've been, I'd say, close to half of our outreach, and beyond that, it's word of mouth. It's people getting research, and we posted a few of them who've gone into college, really good colleges this year. We had one, Joel Vincent, get into Yale, and another student get into Emory University. So that was a very initial round because we just really started ramping up operations back in August. The fact that we had those two amazing results as early as our first college admission cycle that we'd been through, I think that was really great. So I think posting that, getting the word out about that, because the number one thing kids want to see is success stories, right? That's the reason they're even doing NextGen, to boost their chance of getting to college and get some real experience. So I think that's been really successful. We also have clubs at our schools that my co-founders or people they're affiliated with run. In FCS Innovation Academy in Georgia, they have a club for STEM outreach. So they do marketing there for NextGen. We also have a club at our school that Tian Liang runs, our CTO, called Careers in STEM Outreach. So we've done NextGen marketing there as well. So yeah, combination of in person, but largely online through Reels and TikTok.
So okay, so obviously, yeah, TikTok and Instagram Reels is definitely a great way to market. How often do y'all like make the? That was my question. So obviously, the whole idea you did meet your co-CEO last year in like in the mid of junior year. So when did you really start like pushing off next gen education, like pushed out to the public?
August, September.
In
Yeah,
September.
I'd say right around there. I'd say over the summer we did a lot of planning. We all had pretty packed schedule around the summer. And so
Yes.
surprisingly, we got more free as the school year started. And so that's when
And
we really
this
started ramping
is
up operations.
definitely. And this is like August, September of senior year?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that's like the power, like the amount of time that y'all took too, because usually to get something at such a high value and reaching to that many students, and
Mm.
usually you think like 3 or 4 years. But the fact y'all did this in less than a year, like August to like May, that's
Yeah.
a crazy amount of time, and that definitely shows the work ethic you and your team have definitely put in. So hats off for
Thank you,
that.
man. Thank you.
That's
Appreciate you.
crazy. That's crazy amount. So with the goal of bridging the gap between high school and college, especially when it comes to like research and stuff, how successful do you think you have been with that goal?
I'd say as of now, compared to how much we could do, we're doing okay. I think in terms of bridging between universities as a whole and students, we can do better. Because right now it's not a very systematic process we're using. It's largely one-to-one connections that we have with professors and grad students, which don't necessarily represent the whole of the university. So right now one of our biggest goals is implementing a more systematic process to matching whole universities with student groups. So we don't have to reach out to individual professors and email back and forth. We can reach out to the university, say, do you have any professors? Do you have any grad students that would need high schoolers? And this would not only help them because we have talented and ambitious students, but you'd also be doing good for the students because you're giving them research, giving them more opportunities that they wouldn't have had otherwise, which makes your university look better too. So that kind of pipeline is something we're trying to implement. So I think there's definitely a lot to improve, for sure.
You always, even if you're like the most successful person in the world, you can always have something to improve on. There's never
Yeah.
anything that you don't have to build upon.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, not only are you the CEO of one LLC, but you are actually the CEO of two LLCs, serving as a CEO for Orostone LLC.
Mhm.
So, could you go more into depth about what Orostone is?
Yeah. So Orostone, it started as an app called Quick Sports. So Quick Sports, that was my first entrepreneurial venture, I'd say. Actually, my first was like building rain barrels. Second was this. So I built an app called Quick Sports because my friends and I had played a lot of pickup basketball and pickup sports in general. And we found it annoying for two reasons. One is you meet cool people while playing pickup basketball, but it's too awkward to ask for their number or like contact to like play later. So that's something that I feel like myself, my friends, and a lot of people had faced. And two, it's hard to find people in general. It's hard to set up a time, sort of play pickup sports fast. It's just it's a weird process, right? It's annoying. You have to text multiple people and whatnot, right? If you don't get to LA Fitness and you're lucky that there are a few people already there, it becomes kind of a grind.
Because awkward, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like how do you even tell them like without it being weird that you want to play with them in the future? Like what do you even do, right? So
Exactly.
we want to build an app that kind of helps solve those two problems. But importantly, the second one, that it's hard to find people, it's hard to get them to court at the same time as you, and this applies to all sports. So I began in my freshman year, and I continued throughout my sophomore year, but at that point, a lot of competitions started popping up, like so much, to the point where like me, myself, and my co-founder, like we can meet all the demand, because I had school, I had other clubs activities, and building an app like this with all the competition that's out there, there was like, I remember I pitched to a venture capital firm, my Quick Sports, and they said they already invested in a similar app like 9 months ago, and it was a 20-something-year-old dude who had a whole team, and he did it full time. So I basically was asked, why should we invest in you as a high schooler who's doing with his friend who's not willing to drop out of high school? Obviously not. When we had this team of 20-something-year-old software engineers who were doing that thing, and at that point doing it at a higher scale than you. So after that, I was like shit, this isn't where my competitive advantage is. So yeah. But in terms of Orostone as a whole, I started adding more apps to it. So I built another one along with a base that I bought from someone for $50. It's a text-to-speech app, pretty simple. That did fairly well. The rating on the Google Play Store isn't super high because the UI is like a bit glitchy. but it reached over like a downloads, so that was pretty well. And then I bought like another game for $100 and marketed that and grew it. So those three apps are the apps in the Orostone Holdings portfolio. So it's a software holdings company, but it's not my main focus anymore. Yeah.
That was gonna be my next question, with like Quick Sports and Voxify. So are you a coder like by heart? Like are you like very engulfed in like coding languages?
No, I wouldn't say I'm a coder by heart. I'd say for me, coding has always been more of a means to an end. That's something like I loved or really enjoyed doing. I thought my freshman year I'd be a CS major. Actually, I was ping ponging between CS and pre-med for a while, until I landed on like finance and entrepreneurship and business.
Yeah,
But
that's
I would still say I really value technicals. I just one of the biggest things I've been thinking about for a while is I've always seen myself majoring something technical in college, even though it's because I don't fully see business in and of itself as like a, how to say it, like a, it's not the meat,
the meat, yeah.
Finance and accounting, they're like really important, but I always saw myself majoring something technical just because I feel like it trains my brain more to just like think harder,
Exactly.
think deeper.
No,
Exactly.
yeah, definitely.
Because I feel like if I just took all business classes all the time, I wouldn't feel like I'm capable of solving problems for myself. So I would say not necessarily just computer science, things like physics, engineering. I think those are really, really important and can help you solve bigger and better problems.
Definitely. So obviously you said that you need a little bit of STEM in your life too. So what are you majoring in at UPenn Wharton?
Yeah, so Wharton has like concentrations, which nobody majors in anything at Wharton because everyone has more or less the same set of classes. The core classes are all kind of the same. But you have concentrations, which there are close to 20 to choose from. And right now I'm thinking finance and AI, but I'm also going to try and add an uncoordinated dual degree in engineering or transfer into MNT, the coordinated dual degree between Wharton and engineering. So, yeah.
That's a really good thing about Wharton too, because personally, I want to get a dual degree in like engineering and business.
Okay, yeah.
UPenn is definitely a great school for a dual degree. So, especially with how well Wharton and MNT work together. And, you said, the same thing applies for me too. Like, I would say I'm very business minded. I currently serve as, do you know what FBLA is?
Yeah, I feel
Yes,
of course,
yeah. I currently serve as the state vice president for Tennessee. So, yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I would say I'm pretty engulfed with, business, especially because with that being my top EC at the moment, there's no shot that I have that as my top EC and not even think about business at all in general. So yeah, definitely. But, obviously my whole life I've been telling my parents, first I wanted to go into zoology as a kid. Yeah, and then my parents were like, yeah, you have to stick your hand up a horse's butt. And I was like, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah.
So then I switched over to just like normal biology, but I didn't want to do pre-med, but I also want to do engineering at the same time. So so I've been saying biomedical engineering for the past like 3 or 4 years.
Okay.
But now with a whole new world of business unlocked to it, I'm now thinking like, should I maybe do engineering and business, or should I just go full on bioengineering, or do maybe bioengineering with a minor in business? So
okay,
that's the good thing about that's the good thing about the US too, because with the
flexibility, man.
The flexibility is insane. Because say like take India for example, right? You go into one degree, even if you hate it, you have to stick with that degree for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Dude, I talk with my friends about that all the time, like how cooked to be in India, because you have to decide in like 11th and 12th grade what you want to do, and then from there, like that's who you are. Like there's no yeah.
I like went to like India, like I'm 11th grade, so like what grade are you in? 11th. Like which path did you take? Did you take? They say like BIPC or MPC.
Yeah. Because in 11th and 12th, you choose like your group, right? Like what group you're taking. So like bio or engineering or CS, and you just like that is your life.
And you have to stick with that for the rest of your life. Which is like, the thing is like here, even in college, like second, third year, you can just switch your major, and then you're set. If you didn't like it.
A lot of colleges don't even have you declare until like end of sophomore year.
Exactly.
And, majors are meant to be done in 2 years. Like Stanford, right? I think a major is like in 2 years. You can do one. It's not even like 4 years. So much flexibility.
Exactly. Exactly. Like as I'm involved with FPLA, you have been involved with BPA, which is basically another business CTSO in the US. Obviously, I don't think Tennessee has a BPA organization in Tennessee itself. It's like one of the two that we don't have. But you are very very accomplished when it comes to BPA, and you were a national level and multi-event champion. So what event did you compete in for nationals, and did this change your outlook path on your career?
I competed in portfolio management at nationals, and this was banking and finance. But at nationals, like something cooked happened. Like I ended up not doing great, and then I did econ research there too. So I actually only went to nationals 1 year. Like I tell people like I'm BP, I've won this, everything I did all 4 years. My junior year I went to nationals and that was it. This year I won at states twice again, but then I didn't go to nationals because I didn't really see.
Yeah, I mean you're a senior, so it's not like that's the thing with a lot of our seniors like here too, because they're like, oh, I don't want to go because it's expensive too. Like don't get me wrong, it's like expensive, very very much expensive. So
I did last year. Like, we had it all subsidized. It was a fundraiser last year, like a golf outing, and it came down to like 300, 400 per person. This year, if you leadership change, I think it's like 1,500 per person or something.
Yeah, it's super duper expensive especially because you're not staying in state for that kind of stuff too. You're going to like I know
Orlando?
FBLA Nationals. Yeah, I went to Orlando last year for FBLA Nationals.
Okay, nice.
And then this year, I'm supposed to be going to Anaheim, which is, especially for the both of us, not close at all. It's like three time zones away, California. I've never been to the west side ever, so that's definitely going to be...
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's worth then for sure. If it's their first time going, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously as a state officer, we do get a little bit like cheaper, but it's still like $1,000, which is like mad expensive. So
yeah. But I would say, in terms of like how it's influenced my career, portfolio management was interesting because it's kind of like you get to play the role of a hedge fund. And so that was an interesting event, and we performed pretty well at nationals, I'd say. And yeah, you get to like choose which stocks you invest in. When I was a junior, I worked with two seniors on it. They were kind of my mentors. We did econ research team together, and we did portfolio management together. And so I think more than doing the event itself, like working with them and Charlie Sonic and Kate Oberlander, they're both freshmen at Kelly right now. Amazing guys. And so I learned way more from them, just working with them through the PowerPoint, creating business plans, creating stock analysis. I think working with people who are better than me taught me like a lot. So I think those are the best experiences I got from BPA.
They also have experience. They're, you could say, mentors in your situation. So definitely I see where you're coming from there. But you also lead your school's entrepreneurship club and a published IEEE author. I tried researching what IEEE is. So could you give me more like depth on what that is?
Yeah. IEEE is International Electrical and Engineering.
Okay.
It's a wait.
Okay, because I searched up IEEE. That was the first thing that I saw.
Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers. So it's essentially a paper, a really good publication where they publish research related to almost all STEM research. The name makes it sound like it's like an engineering and electronics work, but it's a variety of things. So myself, Nishant, my co-CEO, and a few others worked on a paper that we ended up publishing there. So that was like, in terms of what the scope of what I've done, I'd say it's a really small part because I just wanted to like dip my feet in machine learning and in that realm because machine learning AI, it's huge. It's so big.
Yes.
And so yeah, that for me was more of a learning experience. And from Nishant, who's really good at programming, really good at coding, and has a ton of experience. So I'd say that's a relatively smaller part, but the IEEE name is pretty big, and people recognize it internationally. So that was a pretty good thing to have. And what was the other part you'd asked about? It was entrepreneurship.
Your entrepreneurship club. Yeah.
That I lead with Charlie March Gibson. Me and him like co-lead it. And so that I joined my freshman year. That's it. That was the biggest thing that pushed me into entrepreneurship and business. I learned from my mentor, Izzy Brandon, who's a senior at the time when I was a freshman. And he had built a software company that was valued really high. And he was really successful in that realm. So that really catapulted me to the point where I feel like when I came to my junior year, I was somewhat ready to take over that role and help other people. Because over those 2-3 year period from freshman to junior year, I thought I learned a lot. Even though I wasn't close to like successful or I'm gonna exit my startup, like nothing like that. I learned a lot that I could help freshmen and sophomores that were in my spot not make the same mistakes I did. So that was the motivation behind that, and it's something I'm excited to continue in some form or the other in college.
Pretty sure, like obviously with such a big idea on business at UPenn. They definitely do have entrepreneurship club or something there too. But going like business, are you planning on, this is more of a personal question, but are you planning on joining a business frat? I know those are really big, like just in general in college.
I don't think so. It's an option. I haven't looked into it that much at all because I joke and say Wharton itself like is a business frat.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how much I need to be like within Wharton also being a business frat.
Exactly.
Because a lot of the frats, right? It's not people say you get better career outcomes and like social outcomes. That's because they're
Definitely.
already incredibly wealthy and well connected to begin with. It's not like
Yeah.
because you joined the frat now you have like all these new like they're already in that way to begin with. So I don't know how much it would help me in terms of the startup space and in venture capital. That's more just pipelines to investment banking, which I think I already have. So just by being a Penn.
You know,
So I don't know how much a benefit would be. I think I'd lose more in terms of like my sanity. But yeah.
That's fair. Like you said, UPenn's already got that big culture to it, so you don't really need to add a business frat. Most people when they say frat, they think like fun and stuff, but like business frats is like actual like, business, like actually working and stuff. So I definitely see what you're getting with there. And you also serve as an intern for, you serve as a private equity analyst for industrial successions as an internship. So how did you get that, and like what did you do there and all that?
Yeah, that was last summer, my summer before my senior year. I was looking for internships that are virtual because what did I do last summer? I tried to get in-person internships, but that ended up not working out. Started exploring virtual options because I also had like vacations with my family that I had to attend to, and they really wanted me to come because like it was a year before I was going to college, and so I had reached out to my friend Will Kramer. He was doing the internship there at Industrial Succession as a private equity analyst, doing things like it's a search fund, so it's not like a huge private equity firm. We're doing things like market research, researching companies to contact. I'm talking to business owners, asking if they'd be willing to sell their business and for how much. Some technical analysis, very little, but I got that through emailing the person there. So Will Kramer, my friend, he'd been interning there, and he got to know the hiring manager a good bit. And so he'd forwarded me her email. He said, okay, this is my friend Prob, super smart guy. He's really ambitious and wants to, get into the private equity space. So after that, I sent her my resume, and we interviewed. It went great, and I got it. So.
I said the power of networking does go pretty far. And obviously, I would assume if you did have NextGen already at that point, you probably would have used that and, got yourself an internship that way too, which is, that shows how impactful NextGen education really is. Because now it's making a lot of kids their output 10 times easier to, find their future. Because like I've also had that problem too. Like you said, cold emailing. I have done my fair share of cold emailing. I've cold emailed at least I emailed all the biomedical professors here in the University of Memphis, and I luckily found one really fast. And have been working with them. Yeah, I've been working with them.
That's awesome, man. Congrats.
Yeah, thank you. I've been working with them.
We need that kind of cold emailing skill at NextGen, bro. That's tough.
I got you. Hey, if you do need a marketing intern, I'll send you my resume for sure. I definitely got you. I got you. But cold emailing it is a lot more time consuming than people do assume it is. And I remember I was talking to this one guy on LinkedIn. Because I got this one shadowship because of my dad's friend. He DM'd me on LinkedIn. He was like, dude, how'd you get this job? How'd you get this on LinkedIn? Like, how did you get this shadowing ship? Like, I've been cold emailing people I've cold emailed like 400 professors, like a bunch of doctors, professors, and all that. I haven't gotten anything back. I was like, I guess I just got super lucky. But, seeing that and then you talking about the space and how it is super hard, that does open a lot of people's eyes to the struggle that it does take people to get into something like that. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, 100%. So also you were a Build Space International finalist. What did you submit for Build Space? How does Build Space work? Because I didn't really get to do my research on that.
Yeah. Build Space, I'd worked with a girl from the Bay Area, Sharon Basin. She was working on I believe it's a nonprofit, Coral for Tomorrow. And she actually invited me to join her team for the Build Space competition. She was working on an AI end of Coral for Tomorrow, and it was basically a nonprofit that helped restore coral because it was dying because of global warming, because of other environmental issues that caused it to degrade and ultimately hurt the fish and hurt the environment there, which has catastrophic effects for not only nearby wildlife communities, but also tourism and just people in general.
Yes,
So
100%.
we worked on an AI model that helped detect disease outbreak in coral reefs faster for that. And that was also a learning experience for me. She put on me, myself, and Nimai Patel, my friend from Midland, Michigan. So that was a very short project we worked on for about a month. That was a learning experience. I didn't see myself being part of it for the long term. And after that one competition where we did surprisingly well in, I joined with no expectations at all, just to meet some new cool people and and learn something new. And I think it ended up being like a really important achievement for me that I'm really proud about. So that's one of the things that I think really pushed me. It's like kind of my limit in terms of how long and how fast I can work, because we had to create like a MVP demo and video within such a short time frame. I remember I got the email that we had made it to the top 32, and they needed a demo video, and they needed like another intro video, both 2 to 3 minutes long, within like 14 hours, within a really short time frame. So I remember I got it at like 10 p.m. I was up until like 5 a.m. that day, 6 a.m. Just like working on grinding those 2 videos through, making the demo, creating the prototype on Python, and then screen recording myself, pitching it, and talking about it. And I woke up, I think 3 a.m. the next day with a notification saying that we'd made it to the next step. And I was so incredibly happy. So yeah, I think it was hard, it was difficult, but I got a lot out of it. Even though it's not something I continued or was even fully a space I was interested in even.
So with your teammate from the Bay Area, how did you get in contact with her? Was that also through a friend's friend, or was it just like
I met
random?
her at, we're like, every question we're getting to like new realms of things I worked on, but it was a competition that I'd done summer after my sophomore year in DC. So it was called the K-12 Innovation Challenge. And so for that, I've worked on so much stuff. I'm just realizing it now.
No, crazy amount, dude.
Yeah, which I low-key don't think is a good thing, because I feel like I should focus more earlier on to like spreading myself a bit too thin. But I was working on this concept called Food Shift. It was basically an app that helps connect homeless shelters and food banks with the restaurants and other organizations that have excess food. Like when companies order tons of food for everyone, and they have so much left over, where do they give it to? And how can they most effectively get to the people who need it? So that was the concept behind that app. So I presented that in a competition called K-12 Innovation Challenge. And at the finals, the national finals in DC, I met Sharna, where she was pitching Coral for Tomorrow. So through that, I thought she won the competition, actually. Yeah, super amazing, super smart person. And so I stayed in contact with her, and I actually asked her to join me for a different competition. It's called the Uber Hackathon, which was like a business analysis competition to help Uber create a solution for pets to drive in cars with you. I'd invited her to join me in that competition, but she couldn't. She was busy at that time. But then a few weeks later, she brought up a build space and asked me to join her on that. So yeah.
So, like you did mention, you have a lot of stuff on your resume, and it's not just it all has the center idea of business, but it's multiple different stuff, like whether it's with NextGen education, with the education field, quick sports, with pick up basketball and stuff, Boxify, text to speech, and then the stuff that you worked on for Build Space, and then your food app. How do you get the ideas for all of these? Because they're so vast and different. So how do you just what is your thought process with them when you to make all this stuff?
Let's go through step by step. All right. Quick Sports was my friend's idea. It was probably both phase, but my friend had come up with the idea, and he was a co-founder for a bit starting off. Let's see. Coral X was a project I worked on for a bit just to learn more. NextGen was an idea that me and my friend came up with together. Voxify and the other game, part of Orstone, had already been the idea had already been developed, and I helped expand it and build it out further. What else? Yeah, so a variety of sources. I'd say yeah. I don't think a business has to be good because you came up with the idea. A lot of people are like, oh no, I need to come up with the idea, I need to start it, I need to build it from the ground up. But the idea itself isn't even a ground. There's no ground up from there. An idea is nothing, right? Anyone can have an idea and come up with it, and for some ideas are better than others, but it doesn't really mean much. So I think be open, be curious, see ideas, see thoughts, see wherever you go, and see how you can build upon that. So, yeah, just be open to anything.
Because like I read this and then I see your like LinkedIn profile too. It's like crazy amounts of stuff. So that's always going to have some sort of brain power, some sort of creativity and all that. But like you said, there's multiple different fields to joining like businesses and stuff, and you are a prime example of that. And also, I
Thank you,
guess
bro.
like
Appreciate you. Hella glazed, bro.
so
Appreciate you.
obviously on top of your business, you also got like the idea of pre-med and then the engineering. Uh, more I'm gonna glaze you more here. You're probably the prime example of what every Indian parent loves, because like if when you talk to an Indian parent, it's like the four fields you're allowed to go into: pre-med, engineering, business, law. You just have to hit the law. You have a couple of months. Just try figuring out something else on the law firm real quick.
Yeah.
Because that's definitely because there's no other field that like, especially with how strict parents are, especially Indian parents.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You've hit three of the four. That's 75%. You're almost there, bro. You're almost there.
I'll start law firm next month. We'll get off
Yeah. You probably got some connection in like somewhere like NYU, some top law school. You got that. You got that Georgetown. Yeah. Not too bad. Not too bad. Speaking of, actually, no, you do have some experience in law because you were a Coolidge senator.
That's such glaze, bro. I do not have experience in law, dude.
So how was it?
Yeah.
I mean, the word senator is like government. Yeah.
I'm in the state, but I didn't. Right.
Yeah. So crazy. So you are the golden child. So speaking of the Coolidge senator, how was that experience as a Coolidge senator?
I'm about to glaze Coolidge senator, bro. Coolidge senator was like that 4 or 5 day thing was one of like the best experiences in my life, like by far. It was. I came back and I hyped it up to my parents for like a week after that. It was so incredible because I met just amazing people, like amazing people who like didn't just do something because it was like to farm or to be a smelly farmer and get to college, but because like they're really passionate about it and they loved what they're doing. That even if they didn't even go to college, I knew they'd be incredibly successful because of who they are. So, what made it amazing? Like we had seminars, we had pretty cool people come and talk. We had an ex-circuit court judge that was pretty interesting. We had one guy who was an ex-investment banker at Lazard, and then he was a hedge fund manager for a while. And now he's like a philosopher. He teaches, he writes books, and I have this book right here, the Price of Time. So we got like
Yeah.
and then another book they gave me here about this one guy who started an education company. And he talked about kids having agency and not just like spoon feeding them things. And I have another one here. Calvin
Oh my
Coolidge
God, how many
Autobiography.
books do you have, dude?
Dude, they give so many books. But yeah, so that was one part of it. It was really cool. But the biggest thing, like it was the people. Some of them are still really, really good friends now. One of them I was gonna room with at college together until he actually got a full ride at Duke. So yeah.
That's nice. That's nice. Did he get the Robertson?
Yeah, you know what Duke AB Scholars is?
No, but I'm gonna start doing my research on that as soon as I can.
Yeah, he got that one.
Yeah. Cause like I said, my dream school is Duke, and getting a full
Yeah,
ride to
yeah.
Duke, that would be nice.
Yeah. If you want, let me know. I'll connect you with this dude, Derek Chen. Yeah, amazing dude.
Definitely. Oh yeah, but
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I say Coolidge like opened my eyes to just like what the breadth of people there are and how genuine they are while still being like really locked in and really, really good at what they do. I don't know what more to say outside of the people opened my mind to how specific and depth of knowledge you could have in a subject. Kids would be sitting around talking about their favorite, it was so specific, it was their favorite socialist philosopher. Like there were 3 kids sitting around talking about, I'm like, I don't know maybe one socialist philosopher. Like Karl Marx and like Engels.
Yeah.
I can't name any others. And they're sitting around talking about who their top 5 were. I found that amazing.
Philosophers? You could go like old like Ptolemy and like Archimedes.
I'm saying like socialist philosophers, like a philosopher of a specific type. Yeah. So I'm like, You're like, what the heck? I know maybe two. That's it. And they're
Yeah.
sitting there making like a tier list of them. So I found
Yeah.
that to be super cool. And everyone was, because Coolidge, oh, really, really important thing. Coolidge is a fully merit-based program. Fully merit-based. Like they don't care about anything else. Maybe like, diversity and interest or, what you're good at, but it's fully merit-based. And so being in that kind of environment, it's like if a college was the best it could possibly be, and that you're meeting the best people in what they do. So did you apply to Coolidge by any chance?
No, I didn't know about Coolidge
Yeah.
until like I started doing these interviews. That's one thing. Yeah, I didn't know about all of this stuff. Like, I really feel like I've been missing out because, like, I was talking to some people about, like, oh, I interviewed Morgan Johnson, like the president of Boys Nation.
Yeah,
He was talking about Boys State. I was like, I saw my school push that out, but I didn't realize it was that big of a deal. Same for like Coolidge senators and like the U.S. SYP. I didn't know about that until it was like too late because I was gonna apply to that,
Shit.
but then it said that I have to be like in like student government. I'm like, I never made student government. I have every other qualification but student government, which was like,
Yeah. No, dude, Coolidge especially is like really OTL, because the application is due December of your junior year, which is a really weird time. My mom sent me that I don't know how she found it. She sent me it 2 days before it was due, and I like scrambled everything together. I told my teacher that I need a rec letter the day it was due.
it
That
was
like
that
a
teacher came in
grind,
clutch
but
though. That's
it's
clutch.
so clutch.
Because
Incredibly,
some teachers take a while. That's clutch as heck.
Yeah. This guy, Mr. Moser, shout him out. Amazing dude. He wrote my college rec letters too. So yeah. Having having good teachers is important.
Yes,
People who,
having
yeah.
that one teacher that you can like depend upon, that definitely works.
Yeah.
But like, especially the main reason I did start this podcast was so people can have their eyes open to the stuff that students like you and everyone else I've been interviewing have done to get to the position you're in today. So they're not like me scrambling around before. It's like, oh, I didn't know about this. Oh, I didn't know about this. Well, now you have like the idea of being a Coolidge senator, and obviously now with the multiple interviews that I'd be doing for my Coca-Cola Scholar series, pretty engulfed in what a Coca-Cola Scholar is, hopefully, by the time we get to here. So, speaking of
You'll be one
Coca-Cola
soon, bro. I can see it in you. Yes, sir.
I'm hoping, I was telling this story to everyone that's asked about the Coca-Cola whenever I bring it up. My parents have a running joke in my house saying that they cannot leave a Coke can out for, like, in the open, because 1 second it'll be there, the next second it's gone because it's going to be in my hand. I'm going to be drinking the whole thing. Yeah.
Yes, sir, bro.
Like, yeah. Like, during, like, every Sunday. That's valid. That is valid. Like, every Sunday, my parents make biryani in the house.
Bro, my parents are making like chicken curry biryani right now. It's crazy.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's every Sunday as it like starting COVID, my mom would make chicken biryani every day or some meat like curry, and it's usually chicken biryani every single day. You know how Coke and biryani go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
My mom pulls
my
up.
family's like a Pepsi family, bro. My dad always like sips like Diet Pepsi while eating biryani.
Yeah.
But it's fine. We're like kind of ops. But
Yeah.
it's all chill. Yeah.
My town is a Pepsi town because we have a Pepsi factory, like just like 5 or 10 minutes from
really?
here. So most of the stores here run on Pepsi.
Okay.
Like, most of like the big chains, they run on Pepsi because like Pepsi factories right there, they sponsor them. Like my school too, at one point, like our vending machines was only Pepsi products because like we get sponsored by them, and Pepsi does play a big part here too. But my parents, we've done Coke.
Well, you're a future Coke scholar, so you don't like mess with Pepsi.
Yeah.
Sure,
But
bro.
speaking of that, my mom will pull out a Coke from the fridge or somewhere. She's just walking with a Coke in her hand, like, where'd you get that from? And she's like, I'm not telling you, like, I'm not gonna tell you, like, if I tell you, you're just gonna drink all of them in like the next like span of a week.
That's so facts. Like I'll tell like my mom like hide something because she knows I'm gonna eat it all. But then like I tell her like, you can hide it, but if you hide it and I find it, like I'm gonna eat it all regardless.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, my parents know I'm not, like, I am the worst at finding stuff. Do not tell me to find something because I cannot find it for the life of me. I'm too lazy for that, and I just don't have a good eye for that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely Coke has definitely been something that has played a big role, just like the brand itself. And then being a Coca-Cola scholar on top of that, being in such a big field, which is obviously, this is actually what's going to be my next question. Obviously you were a Coca-Cola scholar yourself, so what was your experience going to Georgia, meeting all these new people and being added to such a big network of people?
Yeah, it was really good. It was I would say I was kind of like I already had Coolidge, which I thought was like um I had Coolidge before, which would like kind of set my expectations to where Coke was like a similar Coolidge. So
Yeah.
my mind wasn't blown because it was already blown at Coolidge. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Coke regardless, super smart, amazing people. The organizations that some of them built are massive. They're like
Definitely. And you get
it's just
added to
insane.
yeah, and you get added to such a big network too.
Hmm.
A couple people I've talked to. One of the interviews I did, I think it was I'm not I can't name specifically which one. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Hmm.
But, I heard Vivek Ramaswamy was a part of
Dude,
that.
I was gonna bring that up. That was what I was thinking about. Sir, if you
Yeah.
go on the Coke Stars Connect page, it's like Vivek Ramaswamy, and you can send him a message. Like, I know damn
Yeah,
well he's not gonna reply, but you can still send him a
exactly.
message if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, I know because there was I think it was I think it was Agnea. Yeah, he was talking about.
I love Agneo,
Yeah,
bro. Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yeah. I love that
yeah.
guy.
He
Yeah.
was.
I call
Yeah,
him CMUCS, bro. He has so much aura. Amazing.
yeah.
Yeah.
He was my first interview that I did for the
Mm.
Coke series. He was talking about how everyone was talking about Vivek Ramaswamy and a bunch of people DM'd him. And then Tasni, the interview afterwards, she was talking to me about how the room went crazy when they saw Vivek Ramaswamy's face on the
Yeah.
presentation that she got.
Hmm. Yeah. Which is surprising because most Coke Stars are like so liberal, are very liberal,
Yes,
but they still
exactly.
they still
It's
Vivek.
still, yeah, it's like obviously because we are Indians and he is an Indian American who ran for president.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
he's
Did
definitely a
pretty
big
well for
figure
his like
in our,
yeah.
yeah, very, very well. And like, joining a group of people that includes people like him and then also like top Fortune 500 of
Hmm.
Fortune 500
Yeah.
CEOs, big activists and all that definitely
Mhm.
adds you to a big. And then obviously you have the other 149 scholars that you joined with that weekend,
Yeah.
getting tight with them. And, all of y'all are destined for greatness because getting Coke is crazy. Like 0.15%,
Yeah.
like it's absolutely wild. But
Mhm.
definitely. Obviously, I assume that you came out with some really close bonds with
Mhm.
the people there.
I
Uh,
did. Yeah.
yeah. So there's definitely like I know there were people that talked about like how they created such close bonds with people there and how they still talk to them. Obviously, y'all are all still in contact with each other.
Yeah.
Like I know when I started DMing all of y'all, I became the talk of the town.
Yeah. You definitely got mentioned in the Coke group chat. I think you did.
Yeah,
You most likely did. Yeah.
yeah. There was a lot of people that your name kept popping up in the group chat, and I was like, I might as
Mm.
well take a chance on it, which I'm extremely grateful for all of y'all. Like, super,
Yeah.
super grateful. Especially, like, the level that y'all have achieved. That is something many kids like me aspire to. Definitely, definitely. But, another question that I was asked, what that I believe is a good question to myself is, why do you believe you were a Coke scholar, or why would you believe you were a Coolidge senator too?
Mm. So like to preface, like these processes are super weird. Like there's a very equal chance that I just like didn't even get it because what 2 or 3 people really review your application. Some say no, some say yes. Like it's so random. Like awards, I'd say in general, college apps mean the least out of your whole application. They mean very little. So like, I don't fret, don't like be sad if you don't get it. Tons of people I know got rejected the very first round and still got to Harvard, Stanford, whatever. So not that important at all. But why I think I got it? Hmm. I actually think I wasn't gonna get it at all because almost everyone who, at least half the people who get Coke Scholars have some kind of nonprofit. And I not only
Yes.
didn't have a nonprofit, I had 2 for-profit businesses. So
Yeah.
I thought it was just over. But if you ask me personally why I think I got it, I think I was really genuine. I think I was which is a sentiment you probably hear across everyone, right? Like you were yourself. Hmm. I haven't like really thought about it. Maybe because I wasn't, afraid to fully project the business side, and because a lot of people do try to act like all they care about is helping people, being humanitarian. That's not actually who they
Exactly.
are. Yeah, and I don't think even try to project myself in that way, because
Definitely.
if I get it, I get it. If I don't, like I'm still true to myself, and I'm not gonna like BS my way through some kind of process just to get something. So yeah, I think not shying away from that part of myself and fully like owning up to it and even being genuine about it in the interview was a big thing. But how I got to are you familiar with like the process and like what each round entails and getting
I
through?
know the last round is all AI based and it puts you in a rank. But other than that, no.
Yeah, yeah. The very first round is like an AI based. I think they get back to you in a week. They like review 100,000 applications in a week and get back
Yes.
to you. So that you just anyone can get that round. You just like you just farm as much as possible. You just put everything you did, right? And that's like
Yes.
I don't think getting that like says anything about you. Just like you can click boxes. And honestly, after I got that round, I was happy. Like I thought this is the farthest I'd go. Like it's whatever. In my essays, I wrote like yeah, so basically it goes from 1300 to 250. That's like I think
Yes.
the most important cutoff, because after that, the next round is 250 to 150. So
Yes.
much easier, right?
Yes.
That essay round, I didn't think I wrote good essays at all. I think I just type what came to mind. I didn't spend too much time editing them or being super like oh no, I need to send this into reviews because I thought I wasn't making it farther, and maybe that helped make my essays more genuine or really like have my true thoughts come out.
Definitely.
And in these kind of processes, it's more important that you're unique than anything else. Like you just have to be different in some little way that makes someone say, "Oh, that's cool," or "He did that." Like if like helping people and wanting to help your community is the most basic thing you can do. It is the most
Yes.
basic thing you can say, do, appear to
Do
be.
or
Like
definitely.
it's not gonna get you anywhere. So
Everybody has that passion to, help
yeah,
their community. Yeah.
yeah. Honestly, I don't. To be honest, I think maybe 1% of the people who say that actually do. I actually care about that. So definitely do more than show. And when you do show or tell, don't mention, I love helping people. I just be hyper specific in why. The why is so important. Because without a why, you're just doing it for college apps at that point. And then
Exactly.
people know. Even people with good whys do it for college apps. So if you don't even have a
Exactly.
good why, like
Like
it doesn't make sense.
why are you doing it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't add up. So I think your story has to go along with it well. Mine was related to like education and in that space, but also just a pure love for entrepreneurship. So not just like oh I want to help people, I want to help kids get opportunities that I didn't have myself, which is very very true. But also just love the game. I love entrepreneurship. I love business. I think like I said in the beginning, I think it's fun. So that part of myself I projected to. And the third biggest part that I really wanted to get through in the interview, which I think I was successful at doing, considering I made it, was that I value brutal honesty over anything. Like being
No,
fully open
definitely.
and honest. Like I
Definitely.
hate talking to people, but you could see right through them that like they're not telling the truth.
Oh,
And that yeah,
100%. No,
yeah,
that's definitely a pet peeve of
yeah. Free speech is really important. Yeah, I can say what I want
definitely.
without someone saying like you can't say that or oh like that's a bad thing to say. You can't say that. It makes me so mad. So I talk about that a lot during the interview. That especially my clubs and organizations, I encourage people to say whatever they want whenever they want, unless it's like it's just useless and it's like just meant to hurt someone without
Yeah.
a purpose.
Then don't share that. Like
Yeah.
what? There's especially like nowadays too. I know like a lot of kids at my school, they gatekeep. They gatekeep their ECs like
Mm,
crazy, dude. It's
yeah.
absolutely wild. And I'm not a big fan of that. I'll be honest, because you
Mm,
know, if you're doing it, if you're gatekeeping what you're doing, you're not doing it because you like it. You're doing it because for college apps. Let's
yeah,
be
yeah.
honest.
Exactly. Yeah. I
Gatekeeping is
hate people who like who lie or say things or do things like just get into college, and it's like
exactly.
it's kind
That's
of
like
it's kind of cringe, bro. I get it to an
exactly,
extent. Like it's an important goal. It's a big thing to like aspire towards, and it's like it
exactly.
can win like a lot of aura in your family group, your friend groups. But like I don't know, at what point are you just a different person and not yourself?
Yeah, like talking to people, like if you're not sharing what you're doing, you're not
Mm.
passionate about it. Like if you're truly passionate and you share it to people and you still get it, then it's because of your passion, not because you
Yeah,
didn't
yeah,
share this to anybody or something like that.
exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah,
People who are passionate, they can't help not talking about it. They want to
exactly,
talk about it. Yeah, yeah.
exactly. Like take me in the podcast for example. Like
Mm,
I'm truly passionate about bringing a voice for people my age. You have seen problems like with NextGen and how that problem is there. Like that's the same thing with me. Like I have seen in my community how voices, it's like small. Like take Close College, they put like small little blurbs about like you and yourself. But like take like Amazon Scholar, they just put your name. They don't say what you do or anything like
mm,
that. They just put your
yeah.
name. And there's kids like me who want to do crazy stuff and want to be excited with the community and be more involved, but they don't know how to start. Having mentors like you and the rest of the Coke Scholars and everybody else that I will interview in the future, that gives them an idea of what they can do and how they can be inspired to help along too,
Yeah.
So being passionate about something and doing it just for college apps, definitely you can distinguish between the two.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So obviously, to round out this interview, this show, like I have mentioned, is to empower the leaders of today and tomorrow. So as a leader yourself, like I said, golden child.
Mm.
So what is some advice that you would like to give to students or anybody that is trying to achieve what you have or get to a great position like you, especially in like the entrepreneurship and business field?
I would say the first thing is be like incredibly grateful. Because I think a lot of people get it wrong. There's like when they're in a business or working on something, thinking like it's super hard or it's like it's a very big grind to like sit down, like be on their laptop and email people or code. Like it's hard, right? And it's not, but it shouldn't be something that like you're making a victim out of yourself for. Like it's not like you have to work on your business. Like you get to. Like it is like a privilege to have your biggest problem be that, like someone won't buy your product or someone isn't responding to your emails. That's a very good problem to have. All right. I think there are like billions of people facing way worse problems than you. And it's never complained about, things like that. Cause it's like, at the end of the day, it's really small. Like kids who, make their whole personality college and, well, I can't get into here. I didn't get into here. Like, it's like, it's a very good problem to have that like your biggest issue in life is getting into the most prestigious college in the world. That's a very good problem to have. So I think being really, really grateful for where you are and realizing that hard work isn't something, and hard work in like education isn't something that you have to, but it's something you get to do. So that's the first thing. There's one thing I try to remember a lot, which is don't put off something until tomorrow that can be done today. I try to remind myself of that a lot. So yeah, outside of that, just things that I echoed previously: be honest, be open, don't be afraid to say something when you feel a certain way. And a lot of I think the most successful people are that way. That they can be open, they can be bold. They don't just say things that are accepted or everyone knows. Because if you're just echoing the same things everyone knows, like what kind of unique perspective do you have?
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, be open, be honest, be grateful, and yeah, don't stop.
Yeah, definitely. Especially I am a big fan of your like what you're saying about open honesty and all that. And obviously, being open, not putting stuff to the last second. I know a lot of people have a lot of issues with procrastination, especially kids our age, but definitely some great advice.
I procrastinate like a shit ton. Dude, my time on like TikTok and Reels was actually like horrendous, even senior year. It's so bad.
Definitely.
And so it's like advice I give, but even I need to work on it a ton because I know if I follow it, I'll be ridiculously better than like where I am now. So, yeah.
Definitely. That's definitely the same thing with me. Like obviously like the past 5 days I've been busy with no other stuff, but usually it's a good amount of time, and that doesn't I don't want to make anybody feel good as a person. So yeah. But thank you so much, Bob, for hopping on the podcast for this episode. Sir. Getting ATM from a smaller podcast, not super big. I'm praying, bro. Thank you, but thank you so much for hopping on the podcast. The advice you've given, this position you are in, like crazy, dude. Like props for everything that you've done, and hopefully, especially at UPenn Wharton, with the tools and all that, they're definitely going to succeed further.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. I'm rooting for you too, man, as well.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And to the viewers, thank you for watching all the way to the very end. Remember to follow the Voice for You podcast on Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. And once again, thank you for hopping on the podcast. And I'm your host, Jayachanran, and I will see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. See you, Josh.